Hi, I'm Megan,
I'm Colin.
and we are the hosts of Pet Sitter Confessional, an open and honest discussion about life as a pet sitter. Thank you to Pet Sitters Associates for sponsoring today's episode, and also our lovely Patreon supporters for helping to keep the show going after almost 500 episodes. We are super excited to have you guys along for the ride.
Part of the benefits of being a Great Dane supporter means that once a month we get together on a Zoom call and talk about everything and how it's going. That is going to be this Friday, June 7th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be on the lookout for that post to come through with that link. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon supporter and learning more about all of the ways that you can support the show, go to petsitterconfessional.com/support.
On episode 494, we talked about staying top of mind and why that is so important for you to do as a business. One way to do that is to be memorable, and obviously in a good way. We talked on 494 about not being annoying with your marketing and trying to do your best to be out there in as many ways as possible and to as many people as possible without becoming overbearing and cumbersome.
But there are definitely good and bad ways to be memorable. We've all experienced this in our own personal life as well. But as a business, businesses can develop a reputation for being snarky on the internet or having bad quality service or not always being open or following through with the things that they say they're going to do. These are very memorable. People in your community, people in your area will not forget you if this is how you act and this is how you treat other people. However, this isn't what we want being spread around about us. We don't want to be in memory of people as a bad experience or for bad things that have happened. And the good part about this is that to some extent here, we actually control this. We can control what people remember about us.
Yeah, we do have to keep in mind the ways and what we can control. So we can't control what someone says to another person about our business, but we can control how we interact with the potential client or the client. So think about it like this. It's like a square door in a world full of rectangles. It stands out. It's unique. If you are that square door, you are going to be noticed because everybody else is a rectangle. So you as a dog walker, there are so many dog walkers on every corner, but what do you do to stand out? What separates you from everybody else? We've talked a little bit about this before, about what separates you is you, because nobody else is like you. Nobody thinks the way you do or explains things the way you do or runs their business like you do. But it goes a little deeper than that. How can we be memorable in a good way to people? How are we going to get noticed?
And it's all in the messaging. For this example, let's think about what Apple did with the iPod. This wasn't the first MP3 player, and it certainly wasn't the easiest or most accessible given its price and some of its technical specifications and what it did or did not work with for its operating system. But they had a phrase, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Right? How they didn't talk about the storage, the gigabytes of storage. They didn't talk about the data transfer rate or the cable that it was used or the casing that was involved or its dimensions. They came out and they said 1,000 songs in your pocket. Because too often we and they could have gotten stuck in the jargon, and that's boring. We use words because we think they're impressive, and we use words because we think that they have a lot of weight behind them, when in reality, they don't mean anything to potential clients. Things like professional or bonded and insured or certified. Again, Apple could have focused on the technical specifications. Instead, they wanted to focus on the experience of the user. They wanted to tell a story with how it actually impacted and how it actually changed the life of the person that was using their device.
And I think a discussion needs to be had here that it is okay to use those words. It's great to use those words. If that's what you are, then you need to talk about that and show that and allow clients to experience that. But I think it's different in our industry because when you're a roofer or when you're a plumber or a contractor, people want somebody who's bonded and insured because they understand that if the roofer falls off the roof, then their homeowner's insurance is going to be liable for that. When someone goes to a tattoo artist, they want to know that they are certified in whatever certification that the tattoo artist needs to be in, because they don't want just somebody making a bear out of a dragon or whatever. But because people typically go to their friends, family, neighbors, and acquaintances before they seek out someone who does this as their career, it is very important that we speak plainly in what we do, because everybody says they're reliable. I just saw a post the other week for a 15-year-old who said, I'm a reliable pet sitter. Okay, well, maybe you are, but for us who do it as a full-time career, this is how we put food on our table for our family and our kids. The words that people use sometimes get watered down. It's really a commodity. So it doesn't really mean much anymore.
And because the language gets muddled down, it gets really muddy, and everybody says that they're a professional. Everybody says that they're reliable. It's not about saying, well, I need to find a new adjective to describe me, or I need to find a new word to use in my business and my marketing. That's not what we're talking about here. As far as being memorable, what we have to do is we have to find our strengths. We have to focus on what we do best. And then it is our job to visualize what that looks like for the potential client. We have to show them, what does that mean when I, as a pet sitting business, when I say professional, here is the experience that you can receive. I mean, customer service is a good one. We pride ourselves in quality customer service. What on earth does that mean? What does that mean to somebody? All we're doing is we're throwing out jargon. We're throwing out a word that is technically meaningless to somebody unless we define it for them, right? Quality customer service. What does that actually get the client? What does that get somebody who comes to you and says, you know what, I had a bad customer service experience previously. Tell me about your customer experience. Tell me about what I can get and how I will experience working with your company.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about using another word to describe who you are or what you do. It's about getting creative and telling that story in many different avenues and many different messages and trying to give a new take on, yeah, I'm a dog walker down the street. Hi, here's my name and my number.
Fear free is growing in popularity. Unfortunately, no clients knows what this actually is or what it means. So we have to translate this into something for them. And that's what this entire process is. You sitting down, thinking about your values, thinking about your strengths, thinking about what makes you different. And then instead of just using the word, paint a picture for them. I'll never forget what going through my PhD program, one of my advisors, she worked on algae, right? But she knew that algae didn't capture people's attention or imaginations like other things did. So she would always challenge herself to write her entire paper which was about algae, without ever talking about algae and finding this bigger context and this bigger story. So you could talk about the training, the number of hours, the specific techniques that you went through to get the certification, but clients don't care. Instead, focus on that experience for them. Focus on the fact that they will have a calm and relaxed pet, right? That their pet will be handled in a way that minimizes fear and anxiety and stress. This means potentially fewer behavior issues and a happier, more relaxed pet during each visit. Talk about creating a stress-free environment, about how, as a certified professional, you are trained to recognize and alleviate signs in pets, that their pet's environment will actually be tailored to their needs with careful attention to their comfort and emotional well-being, with product recommendations and resources and other tools and trainings provided. Talk about your personal care, that each pet is unique, and that as a certified caregiver, you will customize your approach to meet that pet's specific needs, ensuring that their pet receives care as both effective and comforting manner. Share stories and testimonials about how the visits are improved, that whether it's a walk or a drop-in visit, or if you do overnight stays, talk about how the pet will look forward to their time with you because of the reduced stress. It makes it more enjoyable, and each interaction is more beneficial than before. That essentially you are getting a compassionate, stress-free professional care that results in a happier and healthier pet. Linking all of those things together, what we've done is we've taken the training, you have the know-how, you have the certification, you have got all the hours that you put in, but you need to translate that into the experience that the client will receive and that the pet will get from you. That is actually memorable.
Now, this isn't to say that some potential clients who have had a bad experience previously with a pet sitter or really do understand this and know what it means to have all these jargon words around your name, and they don't really need the story. They just know they want somebody insured just like their house cleaner is or whatever. But I think for the vast majority of people, they're going to want to be emotionally connected to your company, to your messaging, to you giving back to the rescue in the area, or volunteering your time to help the shelter pets. They want to feel all the feels. We do need to have a little bit of emotion here in our companies and our messaging.
Yeah, the feels, right? That is exactly what this is. We want to be memorable for how we make people feel. Yes, at the end of the day, it's a business transaction. Absolutely. But there are feelings on both sides of this. What can we do? How can we structure? How can we present and walk people through an experience such that those feelings will be positive on both sides, that we like it, and especially the client and their pet has that? Designing the intake, the processing, every touch point is a wonderful experience so that they feel well, that they feel cared for, they feel known, they feel seen, they feel safe because of everything that you are doing and how you're controlling that.
We're about to talk about specific tactical ways to be memorable. But first, I want to tell you about our friends at Pet Sitters Associates. As pet care professionals, your clients trust you to care for their furry family members. And that's why Pet Sitters Associates is here to help. For over 20 years, they've provided thousands of members with quality pet care insurance. Because you work in the pet care industry, you can take your career to the next level with flexible coverage options, client connections, and complete freedom in running your business. Learn why Pet Sitters Associates is the perfect fit for you and get a free quote at petsitllc.com. You can get a discount when you join by clicking membership Pet Sitter Confessional and use the discount code Confessional when you go to checkout. Check out the benefits of membership and insurance once again at petsitllc.com. So we've talked about why it's important to be memorable, a little bit about how you can be memorable, and now we're going to go into some practical ways that you can be memorable. The first one is a physical handwritten note at the end of a long string of pet sitting visits. A client has maybe been away for a few weeks. This is going to set your business apart because a lot of our businesses are now digital. They are on apps or softwares, and the clients get the report at the end of every visit or walk right to their phone or to their email. But when they come home and they see this nice card that's handwritten and just a quick story about their pets during the time away, is going to make them feel very special.
And obviously, every instance that we discuss here, you have to decide whether that is something that you want to add to your plate. Everything extra that we add, everything extra that we do is an additional expense in time or in financial terms that we have to decide whether that's worth it for us or not. But if making somebody feel special is a $1 card that you get and 5 minutes of writing a quick script about your time with that pet, that's really worth it. It actually goes a long way for not just making them feel special, but for you being seen as somebody who genuinely cares, which could extend into something like remembering a client's pet birthday. Whether you have a software for this or whether it's part of your intake form or whether you just learn about this through the care of the pet, setting a reminder on your calendar and then the day of sending them a message. You don't have to get them a present. You don't have to get them a card at the end, but just a message to them, letting them know that you hope that they have a happy birthday. Maybe you can send along the favorite photo that you have of that pet since you've last cared for them, and just saying, happy birthday. We hope your day is fantastic. This is a great way to allow that client to, again, see you as somebody who cares, that you get known for somebody who notices those details and they really matter to you.
Well, and I think the struggle here for some of our businesses like ours who have a team approach, who have many employees doing the visits or doing any one particular client, is that sometimes we can feel corporate or cold or a little bit standoffish because we have all these policies. We're trying to build this wall between us and the client that the client may perceive, but ultimately we need to protect our business. But it is key to make sure that people remember you for the passion that your company has or that you have, and not necessarily for the policies that you put in place.
Because remember, people will remember you for something. You will be memorable for something to a client. It could be that you have really strict cancellation policies and you actually hold to them. That's memorable. They may share about that on social media or to their friends. Or they could remember that you always send them a happy birthday present or happy birthday text with a photo of their pet each time that it's their birthday, and that's actually what stands out to them.
Or it could be that you send them a physical gift after the loss of their pet. That's one of the toughest parts of our job is when the pets die. So sending the client a gift or a card, that just a simple note letting them know how much their pet meant to you. And then putting that pet's death date in your calendar to send them a message a year later on the anniversary of that death. It's going to mean something very special to them that you remembered them.
And those are obviously two very sad and grave occasions. But if you know the gotcha day for an adopted pet, or if you have an anniversary for when you did the first walk with that dog, or the first time you scooped that cat's litter box, send that to the client. Let them know that you're paying attention, that it's not just the rudimentary, basic kind of service where you show up and then you leave, but that this is actually something that you care about. And you not just care about doing a job well done, but you care about them as well.
There are small ways to be memorable and then big ways as well. Maybe sponsoring a rescue or a shelter day where I'm going to donate $1,000 to go towards all of the shelter animals that get adopted this day.
Or maybe you have a reoccurring basis where a percentage of every service goes to a donation for a local shelter or local animal rescue. Finding ways to impact the community, and it's not in ways that are going to make you suffer financially or going to hurt you financially. So find things that you can do that will work, that are sustainable, that if you did 10x, it still would not be a bad thing. But finding those things that you will be known for, ways that you contribute, ways that you make the community better, ways that you make the place more pet friendly, or that you bring people together over a common love of pets. Those are memorable things. So when people think about pet care, they think about that company that sponsored those dog walks, or that company that did this thing or that thing, or is involved in this broader context.
Yeah, memorable does not equate to expensive. There are tons of free ways that you can stand out from everybody else, it doesn't even have to be the services that you offer or the times that you offer them or the ways that you experience the dog walk with the pet. But it's all the little things on top that will likely make the difference, and they don't have to cost anything.
But Megan, you mentioned about the services that we offer or how we offer them. Look across the people who are offering similar services or who run pet sitting businesses in your area, and then be different from them, right? Just by offering unique services, you will be memorable, even if you don't do a lot of those services. And I think too often we can be concerned that, oh, well, I want to offer wedding pet attendant, but if I don't do it a whole lot, it's not that big of a deal. But what really is that people start to know you as the pet sitting business that offers wedding pet attendant services, and they think that's amazing, right? So for us, we offer adventure hikes. People love these. They love the idea of them, even if their dog isn't a good fit for them. We get people who comment of, well, if my dog were younger, or if my dog were physically able to do that, or if we lived in your service area, we would love to be able to do that. And they actually recommend us to other people just because they know we offer adventure hikes. They say it's so cool and they wish more people could do it. So it's anything like, let's say you just offer poop scooping, right? You offer pet taxi, private flight nannies, wedding pet attendants. You work with pocket pets specifically. You work on farm cares. Whatever that is, find a cool and unique niche that you want to specialize in, that's within your line of work, and then promote that. Because again, even if it never takes off and it fully consumes your entire company, it's still something cool and unique that you offer that people can remember you by. You want people to connect with your business. You want them to say things like, oh, I never knew that was a thing. That's so cool, because that sticks in people's heads. It's also things like engaging with your clients directly. Now, we don't get to see our clients an awful lot in person because we don't have a storefront. We don't have a physical location. So instead, when somebody comments on your social media post, respond back. Have a conversation with people there, everywhere where people are trying to talk with you and to you, especially if it's in public. People like being engaged with. They like being seen. They like knowing that you're having a conversation with them. That's memorable to them. They are going to remember that you are that kind of person. You take that time, and it's very meaningful to them on their end.
And with trying to connect with them, share your story. Share why you got into business. A little bit about your employees if you have them. You can do this on your email newsletter if you send that out, or on your social media, or if you have a physical newsletter that gets sent out, you can do it there as well. Tell people why you started the business, what the story behind your company. Why do you do what you do? What is your approach to pet sitting and dog walking that they may not know about or that they may not have thought about before? And then you can, if it's something like fear free, you can tie it into that's why we have these certifications, because I had a bad experience prior or I was educated in this way.
Consider turning it into a series as far as getting to know us. Yes, you have the FAQs on your website and you talk about those things, but having what's your favorite ice cream? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite animal? Would you rather go to the beach or the mountains? Are you a coffee or tea or neither kind of person? These simple, silly questions allow people to personalize you. They take this enigma of a person who they might not ever see or have seen once, and now they just see online, and it turns them into a real human being before them. And the closer that kind of relationship that we can have, the more personal we can make that for people, the more memorable that we are going to be for them for the long run. So there's the services that you offer, there's the things that you do and how you do them. Also, make sure that your business looks different than every other business in your area. Take time to comb through the Facebook pages, the websites, the social media pages of other dog walkers and other pet sitters in your area, and then compare that to your business. Does your name stand out? Does your branding stand out? What are your colors like? What are you posting? Because those are like having a billboard for people. As when they're driving by, they're going to see your website flash across. They're going to see your Facebook page flash across. And if they see the same, oh, it had a dog and it had a cat, and I think it was kind of brown. What is that? You know that you are missing out on people who are going to be wanting to connect with your company. Having a visually enticing and a visually catching brand for your business is going to help you be memorable when people don't see you every day.
A lot of the things we've talked about mean going above and beyond, doing something extra in your business, whether that's extra time or extra money, because we don't want to be known as the pet sitter that just walks in the door, throws food at the cat, and leaves. That's not a good experience. We want to be unique and not like everybody else. But there is a fine line here because you don't want to do things that are outside of your comfort zone or outside of the scope of your business. You don't want to go pick up a client's dry cleaning or go get them coffee just because they're going to remember you. There are definitely boundaries that need to be set around this so that it is still financially profitable for you to run your business and healthy for you as a person to be able to run your business.
Because there's no point in trying to and struggling to stay top of mind if you can't keep it up for the long haul. And that you may be top of mind for now, but if you burn out and you flash out and you have to shut down your business because you overexerted yourself, what was that for? Find things that are sustainable to you. Find things that maybe you're already doing and try and highlight them or take them up a notch or two, add an extra 5% effort. And realize that you can ebb and flow, that you don't have to always be doing 1,000 different things, that you can take steps back at times to recollect yourself and recenter yourself and find new ways of doing this instead of always the same ones.
If you are interested in sharing how you provide a memorable experience for your clients, you can email us at feedback@petsitterconfessional.com and we will share that on the show. Or on Facebook and Instagram, you can look us up at Pet Sitter Confessional. Thank you for taking your time, your most valuable asset in listening to this today. We are almost at 500 episodes and we could not be more thrilled. Thank you for all of your support and also to Pet Sitters Associates for sponsoring today's episode. We will talk with you next time.
Bye.